Hey guys, Dr. Greg with Judice Sports and Rehab here. Just wanted to shoot a quick video for you guys today. I get this question a lot in the clinic. Why does my shoulder hurt in the front when I raise it up to the side? And so there's a lot of different things that could be going on, but one of the things that I see super frequently is what's called impingement. Impingement is a fancy medical word that just means pinching, okay? So what is pinching? I'm going to show you a shoulder model here, and hopefully this will make sense on camera. So this is a right shoulder. This is shoulder blade, collarbone, and arm bone. So it sits on me like that, okay, from a different angle. Collarbone from the top, arm bone, shoulder blade from the back, okay? Collarbone in front, shoulder blade in back, arm bone on the side, okay? So what's being pinched is typically between the ball and what's called the acromion, or the roof of the joint, okay? So as you can kind of tell from this angle, the roof of the joint covers a good part of the ball, almost half of the ball of the joint, okay? So as this starts to rotate up, what'll happen is the tendon that sits between the ball and this roof will get pinched. So it's easier to see from a different angle, but we've got three different rotator cuff muscles. We've got one that slides into here, okay, from the outside through the top and to the side of the shoulder. We've got one that sits kind of high on the back side of the joint, and we've got one that sits on the low part of the back side of the joint, and then we got a big one in the front of the joint, okay? So there's four rotator cuff muscles. Two of them that sit, we're looking at it from the top here, two of them sit underneath the roof between the ball and the roof. So it's hard to tell here. I'm trying to get a good visual here. If you can see my finger underneath the roof, as I lift up on the ball there, it's pinching my finger. So where that tendon would be, it pinches underneath in this model, okay? It might be a little bit easier to see if I use my hands to show you how it works. So we've got the socket, very shallow socket, a large ball. Then we've got this roof that covers part of the ball, okay? So what's being pinched is when you lift the ball up and it pinches underneath that roof. And so impingement is basically when we're creating pressure on the tendon between the two parts of the joint. So how do we fix that? There are a lot of things that are going on. Again, if we go back to our model, let's look at the roof of the joint, okay? If the roof wasn't in the way, there's nothing to pinch. And so the roof, if we follow the track here, is part of the shoulder blade. So if the shoulder blade is able to rotate out of the way, now that roof is not covering the ball. It's just right off the edge here, and now the ball has way more space to rotate upward, okay? So again, I'll show it with my hands. They can actually move better. So socket, ball, roof of the joint. Again, the roof is part of the shoulder blade. So if we rotate the shoulder blade out of the way, now we're able to rotate the ball further without pinching. You can kind of see the space still there between my fingers here indicating the roof and the hand here indicating the ball. Okay, so getting the shoulder blade to play its role properly is huge when it comes to preventing impingement. I see it a lot. People will come in and they've got great strength in the rotator cuff and they've got great range of motion within the ball and socket joint, but they have a lack of movement within the shoulder blade. So if we can get that scapula or shoulder blade to move better, we're able to get the roof out of the way so things don't pinch. So it comes down to more than just strengthening it a lot of the time. If we're able to allow more movement through the spine, through the shoulder blade, impingement goes away. Of course, if we have a lack of strength within the ball and socket joint, that will help as well. So if we go back to our example here, a normal joint, we would stay seated or centered within that socket if the strength is good. So we've got four muscles, again, three on the back side, one on the front side, and if we're pulling that into the socket, things will stay centered. But sometimes when things are not quite strong enough, that's when things want to rise up and not stay centered within the joint. So working on rotator cuff strength can help because it lengthens that time before there's a pinch. So when strength is good, it rolls further before it would want to pinch or impinge. So rotator cuff strength is important, but a lot of times it's not the primary thing. We just really have to be cautious and aware of how the shoulder blade works so that we can make sure that we're getting the most out of your shoulder and taking away as much of that potential for pinching or impinging within that shoulder, okay? If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment below. Would love to be able to help you guys. Any type of shoulder question, we'd love to be able to make a video on that. So if this doesn't answer your question, but you have a different question, I'd be happy to answer that for you in a future video. So please like and subscribe. We're happy to be able to help you guys here at Judice Sports and Rehab.